What is going on, Lucid fans? Welcome back to Financial Journey. So today we had amazing news on the expansion front. So I'm going to break that down and explain what that means for us as investors. And unfortunately, based on the price, you can't necessarily tell anything good came out today. Unfortunately, it's just one of those things. Good news came out on a very bad day. But again, I'm just going to break it down for you and explain what it means. But before I get into any of that, making sure you guys hit that thumbs up, subscribe, do all that fun stuff. Greatly appreciate that. If you do like my channel and support the growth, take a look at my membership. Link in the description below, or just hit the join button at the bottom of the screen. With that said, let's get right to it. So looking at the intraday chart, we had a nice pre-market starting to sell off a little bit. You can see on the live ticker to my left, we are currently down 2.14%, 9.8 million as far as overall volume, 42.5 the average, and 513,000 shares being purchased by institutions and hedge funds within the first roughly about hour and a half of the trading day. So overall, though, some positive takeaways just from this, we have significant volume. So clearly we are appealing to a lot of investors. We are getting to a happy price, and most likely a lot of value investors are getting into Lucid, but unfortunately not enough to sustain it and keep it higher. But I know we are down 2%, but still that is a lot better than a lot of the other growth stocks in comparison. I know, again, that's not what you necessarily want to hear, but getting right to it though, there is news that did break coming here about Europe. So EV maker Lucid to launch luxury sedans in Europe in late 2022, because I did say technically from the previous earnings, it did appear that Peter did slip up and say that there was going to be Lucid expansion plans, Europe expansion plans coming this week. I feel that he did accidentally slip up, but still very exciting. And you can see right here, it does look like they are going to be bringing back the Dream Edition. So if you did actually buy the Dream Edition, let me know in the comments below what you think about that, because they are classifying these as the P and the R editions. But still, at the end of the day, it's still the Dream Edition, most likely going to be very similar products, just obviously on a smaller scale, because a lot of vehicles in Europe are relatively smaller. But still, it comes down to the fact that, unfortunately, a lot of the rarity could be diminishing. And I know that's something that's floating around on Twitter a little bit right now, but still, let me know your thoughts overall on that. Me coming from an investor, this definitely does show that they're capitalizing on the demand that was around the Dream Edition. So them doing that is very exciting. It is going to cost 218,000 euros, which works out to be $230,000. Very exciting. They are going to be doing it in Germany and also Norway, Switzerland, and Netherlands. We all know Netherlands is most likely going to be their hub for Europe, especially considering based on what they've been hiring. It could also be Germany based on obviously the economic environment around that. But still, a lot of expansion, a lot of excitement, and this is why, hands down, we invest in Lucid, because of their expansion plans. They are hitting exactly where the demand is. And I know technically, like I already said, you can't really tell that based on the price. Pre-market does show that there was some hype around this, and unfortunately, similarly to that news about the Saudi government doing that 100,000 vehicles, it was good news, just came out on a bad day, similar like this. So at the end of the day, this is why right now it is the long-term investors that do make the most, and it is going to be most beneficial in the long run. And just to put it in perspective, there was a very good tweet. I have no idea who Brian Chesky is, or Chesky, whatever it is, but very wise words. Lots of important companies were started during down cycles. Your conviction will be tested. Those that will survive will be stronger. So I've always said this during a lot of actual earnings, a lot of live streams. I've always said that patience is key. You can't always catch the bottom. 9 times out of 10, no investor ever does that. And chasing the bottom is a very pipe dream, in my opinion at least. But when it comes down to finding good companies with good balance sheets, good growth, which Lucid does have, this is where you just buy and think about the future. That is hands down what you need to do, especially in comparison to what happened with Tesla. A lot of people, even including myself, made the mistake and sold too early because I didn't have conviction, didn't fully trust Tesla's plan. And when it comes down to Lucid, this is why a lot of people can see a lot of similarities in the growth aspect when it came down to Tesla. So this is why right now is an amazing time, in my opinion. Keep in mind, I'm not a financial advisor, so do your own due diligence at the end of the day. But given the circumstances and discount, I feel a lot of upside is coming. And just want to give you some good updates right now. Looking at the short interest, it does look like right here on a day-by-day change is pretty flat, up roughly about 0.5%, 1.42 million shares being additionally shorted. We are officially over that 21% mark, so 21.23% is the short interest. Cost to borrow is starting to go up, and like I've been saying on a lot of live streams, typically cost to borrow and the short interest are inverse, because cost to borrow increasing means that it is becoming more and more costly for shorts to maintain their position. And so typically, obviously, understandably, it is inverse to the short interest. So when short interest goes up and cost to borrow goes up, you definitely see that is a little bit more of a bearish sentiment. Utilization is also at 100%, and the short score is currently at 81.36. So it is again going up there. If you ever need any information or context to any of this, let me know in the comments below and I can easily understand that and explain that to you. But this all information is available via Ortex. I do really like them and I have a link to them in the description below. In addition to that, I just want to go over some basic things from Interactive Brokers. I always like to go over the sentiment because I'm a big believer in that, and you can tell as of today, it is just very much negative, massively negative, no optimism when it came down to Lucid. And that is unfortunately what I've been saying over the last couple of videos, is unfortunately if we get below this $15 mark, then unfortunately we are in a very bad place, because nobody is going to trust that Lucid can hold any gains. That is one of the biggest things when it comes down to sentiment. And just want to show you this as well, just in case you did not watch my videos yesterday as far as analyst ratings. It does look like Citi did have and reduced their rating for us to $36. It was previously $45. I do have a link to all Interactive Brokers in the description below and also the comments. If you want a good broker that has a lot of good information, as you can see here, just click on the link, play around. It does have a lot of good information, like I said. But getting back to it, I'm just going to do a little bit more technical analysis. And starting here, looking, I do have the 5100 200-day moving averages, Bollinger Bands, RSI, stochastic, and momentum. Momentum, similarly, like the sentiment, is just very much down. Not many people are really wanting to get into Lucid. Stochastic, there is a big deviation, so red line above the black showing a little bit more of a bearish sentiment, and RSI is currently at 31. On the actual chart, lower percent of the Bollinger Band, and unfortunately every aspect of everything that is going on is a little bit more bearish. So this is where I like to give you the good, the bad, and the ugly, and right now it is ugly, and you can tell that because us being down 3.5% with amazing news that did come out, unfortunately it just looks like nobody is really wanting to touch a lot of these growth stocks. But let me know your thoughts on Lucid in the comments below and what you've been doing. If you have been buying, selling, holding, whatever it might be, let me know. If you haven't already, hit that thumbs up, subscribe, do all that fun stuff, greatly appreciate that. If you do like my channel and support the growth, take a look at my memberships, link in the description below, or just hit the join button at the bottom of the screen. With that said, appreciate you guys watching, and let's all make a lot of money on Lucid.